Story 1. Life is so beautiful. I love breathing the air, touching leaves outside, and feeling the wind and sun on my skin. Story 2. I do not need a reason. I have stopped asking myself that question because it is the fastest way I know to make myself depressed. I do not have to justify my existence to anyone, not even myself. Story 3. Things are rarely as bad as they seem. Challenges appear insurmountable from only a certain perspective. A reason for living is that life can always improve. Story 4. My son, literally. Without him, I would have ended my life by now. I am not much of a father, but I do not want him to grow up without one. Story 5. My cat Archer went into the shelter when I was 17, determined to find a black cat, and left with a white kitten. I am 31 now. He always had health problems starting from around age 4. He lived in 3 different states, multiple apartments, and with different partners, but he was my constant. I unfortunately had to say goodbye to him last week. Story 6. My family. This fall will be 10 years since my father passed away. The amount of trauma my family has endured since his passing. I cannot put them through that on purpose. Story 7. It is only a fluke. According to my doctor, I should have died several times. Just too stubborn to lie down and stop breathing, I guess. Story 8. I am naturally curious about most things. I believe my curiosity will keep me going as long as my body allows. There are many things to learn about, and it is impossible to know everything. That alone is fascinating enough for me to always want to keep going. Story 9. I have to fulfill my purpose first, establish my name, and I want to be that one aunt or friend that someone always has a story about. Story 10. My daughter is an adult, but she is single and does not have many friends. She has anxiety, and I worry about her. I am praying she finds a partner and settles down. Then I can die peacefully. Story 11. The alternative is nothingness, pitch black. Life is hard sometimes, but there are plenty of reasons for me and you to want to live. The bad sometimes outweighs the good, but at the same time, there are always good things to come. Story 12. What if the universe is a simulation and after the simulation ends, you are judged by a live studio audience or something? And there are prizes. If you just decide not to live, that is the worst thing you can do. Nothing upsets the people betting on you standing up to your bully more than suicide. I want to win my family some nice things, you know what I am saying? Story 13. Our main object in life, she said with amusement, is to be alive. I think you humans may have forgotten this one. The Book of Merlin. The unpublished conclusion to The Once and Future King by T. H. White. Story 14. There is not one. I guess it sounds crazy, but I just live my life without even thinking about it. I can make up a bunch of reasons to live, like family, my cat, chickens, and things I would like to do, but I just do not think about it. I guess I am the odd person out. Story 15. Reality and existence in general is fascinating. That things are the way they are, rather than some other way, is incredibly interesting. I want to keep finding out more about consciousness, free will, space, physics, and so on. Those big questions keep me interested in being here. Story 16. I went through a lot of difficult experiences growing up, and when I was battling thoughts of ending my life, I told myself, if I am this young and going through this, this is light. Let's see how it ends. So I guess, whatever does not kill me makes me stronger. And that strength simply says, I do, because I can. Story 17. Too expensive to die. I have to die on a Sunday so I can be bagged and on the corner for Monday pickup. Story 18. I am not religious in any sense, but I have failed multiple suicide attempts. I think God is trying to tell me something. Also, I do not want to abandon my cat. Story 19. Just trying to provide a good life for my cat. When he goes, I will be too old to get another, so I guess that is about it. Story 20. Because even with difficulties, life has been good to me. I have seen and done a lot of cool things. Since I do not really believe in an afterlife, why not see what else there is for life to offer? I will not get another chance. Story 21. I enjoy the moments when I am neither unhappy nor depressed. Fleeting and brief as they may be, Sometimes all it takes is an afternoon at the coffee shop to make me happy. Story 22. Keeping things to look forward to. I like to read, so I always keep a countdown until a new book comes out. That way, I have at least something to look forward to. Story 23. If we really only have one chance at this, you better do and see as much as you can for as long as you can. One day, it will come a lot faster than you think, and it will all be over forever. Story 24. Things might be bad, but they are also very interesting. I want to see what happens here until I cannot anymore. Call it curiosity. Story 25. It is wild to think that out of 385,000 people born every single day, and the millions of chances that had to align just right, you are the one who made it into this world. You in these comments beat the odds. Many attempts to reach an egg, but you are here and alive. So live not just for yourself but for the ones who never got the chance, for the miscarriages, for the abortions, and for the babies who never made it. Life is a gift, a miracle. Enjoy it because it is worth living. Story 26. I just think the world is an interesting place. I always want to see what is under the next rock, so to speak. Story 27. My air fryer has features I have not even used yet. I cannot just leave this world not knowing what the reheat function feels like. It would be irresponsible. Story 28. I don't want to die miserable. I want to die knowing I made it, knowing I didn't give up, and knowing I had a good life because I tried. No matter how burned out I am, and no matter how stressful life can be, it gets better. Trying is one of the strongest things I can do. I want to do good in life, help others, help myself, and do whatever makes me happy. I love trying new things. I can do that anytime I want, and I'm young, so there is still so much to do. Before, I was surviving for my family and friends. Now, I'm living for myself. Story 29. To have lived and to live are completely different things. To say you have done something means you most likely did it just to say, yeah, I did this once, I know what it's like, and move on to other things that you may or may not do for the exact reason, as a mental trophy, if you will. To do something is to be in the moment with it. To look at the trees and the birds that chirp in them, the grass that grows and may hold things of wonder and beauty or of fear and danger, the lake which may hold life or not, who knows. To have lived is to get to the end of the hike and say, all right, let's go home now. To live is to see the burning sun grow as you rise to the end of the path, only for it to then fall back down over the horizon of the trees, grass, and lake, and think, wow, I'm glad I'm here right now. Story 30. I have made it this far. I have fought through hell and back. If I did not give up then, why would I now? And if I do, it makes all of that fight pointless. Story 31. I do not have it. I do not have the desire to live, and I do not even see meaning in life. However, I remain on Earth because sometimes I still think that this can change, or that I can do something to change it, but it is always in vain. Nothing I do, think, or speak will change my emptiness. Story 32. Family. I have a wife and a son. They are the best things in the world. There is plenty I love about the world. My research, the beauty of nature, art, good friends, and gin and tonic. But nothing can ever compare to my child's laugh. Story 33. I have many things I want to do first, such as maxing out my cards or taking a one-way flight, but I am too lazy for all of that. So another day it is. My initial reply is somewhat lighthearted. I often wish to die and am working on it. I saw a post that said, you are seeking relief, but you will never get the chance to feel that relief. And it is true. I have many reasons not to die. I am just working on finding reasons to be alive. Story 34. I have children, and my parents have worked too long and hard for me to give up. The alternative is not an option. Whatever pain or suffering people may be going through, it does not end with suicide. That pain simply transfers to the people who love and care for you. Story 35. I really hope you are not using this post to find a reason to keep living. My reason is that I have a future I can still change if I try. Story 36. I am scared to die with regrets. I have not accomplished anything meaningful enough yet from what I wanted in life. If I died now, all I would think about is regrets. I hope I can find something to change my mindset before I die so I can be proud and not have as many regrets. Story 37. I am a Muslim, so worshiping and being faithful to God gives me meaning and purpose. It allows me to always feel satisfied and at peace, knowing my life is special because I was chosen to live it. I always move forward with the understanding that every moment I experience is a chosen test for me decreed by God. It makes me think, what reason do I have to neglect my life? Story 38. My life is not mine. It belongs to God. What I have is a responsibility to be grateful, to care for myself and my community, and to orient myself in God's direction no matter what. I have many reasons, but that is ultimately the most important one. Story 39. Because dying would be terrible. What if I fell into a pool of rubbing alcohol with an anchor tied to my leg? Or what if I was driving home and a log truck came loose, and I was impaled by a huge log but remained alive for hours, trapped until I bled out? What if I was in my living room, the floor collapsed and I fell through a hole in the ground, never making it out alive, and they couldn't locate me so I suffocated? Or what if, just kidding, I just like living? Story 40. I am curious. Who among my friends will be driving the car to go to the mall and have fun? Will it be me or one of my other friends? I am very curious about that. Also, if I ever get the job that I want, I am curious about that too. Story 41. In the observable universe, within humanity's reach, I exist among others and will continue to do so until I can no longer give existence. Story 42. For sure, my child. Considering I have cut off all other family members, if it were not for him, I absolutely would not be here right now. I have to break those generational curses. Am I right? Story 43. Beats the alternative. We find ourselves here on this planet for whatever reason. We might as well try to enjoy it while we are here, although that is getting more difficult in the face of fires, floods, and political insanity. Story 44. I live in a world of physical, mental, and emotional pain 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No one cares, and they shouldn't. Everyone has their own problems. Over my more than 10 years of illness with cancer, I have lost everything except my life, such as it is. I have to decide whether to eat or take my medication. The greatest country on earth, my ass. Please do not tell me about the help that is available. Here in Ohio, that is a great big joke. Story 45. It's the greatest gig in the world being alive. You get to eat at Denny's, wear a hat, whatever you want to do. Story 46. I want to have everything because some people gave me their everything. I need to make them proud and pay them back. Story 47. I genuinely love and appreciate life despite the great life I have. I have a slight fear of death because I have a wife and 2 children, but I do not think I will fear death when the day comes because I have had a good life. However, I understand the significance of life and that we are lucky to be here. The odds of us existing are incredibly small, so I do not feel we should ever take that for granted. I hope that for those who do not feel the same, they are able to escape their pain or get the help they need. We only get so many spins around this rock. Make each day count. Story 48. I feel like my past experiences give meaning to being alive. Living in different countries, going through all kinds of moments. Funny, interesting, even miraculous. The unpredictable nature of life keeps me going too. Like randomly meeting fascinating people or traveling to so-called mediocre places, not famous or touristy at all, and unexpectedly finding somewhere that feels perfect to live or just rest. I also get a real boost from seeing young people with dreamy or utopian goals. It is like a reminder that the world keeps renewing itself, and with it, the energy of life. Story 49. A more terrible rebirth is why I do not switch myself off. Someone who switches himself off is doomed to live many years drifting in this world, reliving the same feeling experienced in the end. I do not want that. I endure, confused, but I do not switch off. Story 50. Because I decided to make my life interesting and fun rather than be some cliché and succumb to adolescent nihilism. Story 51. My nieces. I was headed down a path that would have put me in the grave by 40 if I did not change. The idea of how devastated and angry my parents and sisters would be at me if I allowed that to happen was the scariest thought I have ever had. Story 52. We went through my father's death, and I do not want my mother to experience that again. Additionally, funerals are expensive. Story 53. My cat. I have lost all my friends, and I am too anxious to make new ones, so she's pretty much all I have left. Story 54. Cats. That is pretty much it. I want to buy a cottage and live with 5 or more cats and have my own garden, so I do not have to socialize at a grocery store. Not very sustainable, I know. Story 55. Only my 9-year-old brother. I am severely depressed, have a difficult life, my parents are abusive, and my boyfriend has stopped loving me. Story 56. The love for my family, my partner, and my cat is my favorite reason to wake up every morning. I love saying good morning to my partner. I also believe that nobody is going to love my partner and my cat more than I do. Story 57. Only quality music. I love old songs. Can anyone suggest a song I should listen to or recommend the most underrated peaceful songs? Story 58. Mi familia. Aunque digan que soy un bandolero donde voy, le doy gracias a Dios por hoy estar donde estoy. Story 59. At this point, it really is just spite. Everyone who ever said I would not make it, they are not just going to be wrong, they are going to be really wrong. Doubt me? I do not think so. Story 60. Knowing that I have many people who would rather I continue to be around, and I have my bird who loves me more than anything else in the whole world. She is my brightest light. Story 61. Despite. There's this one girl who would soak up attention at my self-inflicted funeral with, "Didn't we all see this coming?" I will never give her the satisfaction. Story 62. Right now, my daughter will be born soon. Before pregnancy, I probably had only a small hope that I would feel better one day. I have many symptoms of borderline personality disorder, as I have not been diagnosed yet. Sometimes, almost every day, I think about not being alive. But the slight hope I have is enough to keep me going. Story 63. I absolutely love life. I feel very sad knowing there are many people who hate life and contemplate not living. It is so sad that I would feel it disrespectful to them if I do not enjoy life. Story 64. It has been so cool. I want to make it cool or cooler for others. It was also filled with pain, disappointment, and heartbreak. Those people who made it cool made it awesome. I want to be that for someone else. Story 65. I have many things I want to do, and clearly not enough time to do them all. I live to enjoy my life and provide support for my family. Story 66. My dad. I have been close to ending everything and attempted not too long ago, but my dad recently shared that he felt the same a long time ago. Story 67. I consider that it would be like saying that I am weak and cannot endure. It is more because my situation is not very serious, or I do not consider it that way, and because I know that there are worse situations that I cannot even imagine. Story 68. Because I do not have a reason to die. I am going through some challenges, but I will manage. I have not fulfilled any of my dreams yet. My life is only just beginning. Also, if I end my own life, it will hurt physically. Mentally, too, knowing I am going to die would be gut-wrenching. I would be sitting there thinking, this is the last time I will see my cat. It would be like saying an indirect goodbye. Story 69. I am going to die anyway, so I might as well see how long I am allowed to stay here. Story 70. To see other people live better just by me being alive and doing what I do. Sometimes you do not know why or how, but your mere presence can be enough to make someone continue living. Story 71. Family and friends who would be sad if I was not here. Mostly, that is all. I have hit all the main milestones in life. What else is there? Story 72. Families. Growing up, watching my cousins get married, have children, and now have grandchildren. Also, cats. Story 73. Cats exist, and I get to see all 3 of mine every day. I get to pet them, and they actually enjoy it. Story 74. 1. Curiosity. My loved ones. If I die, I will not know what happens. If I die, I cannot help the people I love. Story 75. I feel like I have seen this exact question 3 or 5 times this week. Every time I cannot think of one that matters anyway. It is ridiculous to live for video games. Story 76. I want to give my mother the comfortable life she deserves. I also want to create a family and experience the family life that I missed in my childhood. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.